Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome back to another Power Rangers Beast Morphers review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Beastbot Cruise and Smash. Now these two are in their own price point. They retail for $14.99, while the normal basic figures retail for $9.99, not $19.99 like I said in my last video. That was a brain slip happening because most of the figures I buy are $19.99. Anyways, these guys are $5 more, and that is due to Cruise's transformation and Smash's size. But they are meant to go with the basic figures, and I'm not entirely sure if the deluxe line is going to continue, as the other Beastbot Jax is going to be a normal $10 figure. So we'll see what happens. But without further ado, let's take a look. Before we begin, I do want to look at the card art because it is really nice. Here we have Cruise on one, and we have Smash on the other. I really like this artwork, and definitely keeping these card backs. These are super nice. Alright, so here we have Cruise. Now Cruise is the partner to the red Beast Morphers Ranger, and he basically acts as an assistant buddy as well as the Red Ranger's motorcycle. For scale purposes, here is the Red Ranger. As you can see, Cruise is a little bit taller, just a little bit, which is appropriate. That's about the size he was in the series itself. So that's pretty good. And overall, he looks okay. The biggest issue with this figure is that it does transform into the bike mode. Now, while it's normally just like, oh hey, it has a feature, no, it kind of like demeans the whole figure in a way. For example, due to the transformation, he's got a lot of weird gappiness in the back. I mean, he looks okay from the front, but his legs are kind of blocky because they need to form a seat. And there's just like some really weirdness here. The other thing is that like stuff like his arms don't really peg in, they just kind of hold in place, and he doesn't really have as much articulation as the basic figures. For example, you can turn his head, which does pivot up and down a little bit. You can rotate his shoulders. You can actually pivot here at the elbow, but there's no elbow bend at all. And then the hips basically have almost no range because they don't really hold in any position. And the knees just click into place, so they really can't hold any position. So he's kind of stuck just standing there, which is a shame. Accessory-wise, let's look at this first. We got the Morph-X key. Here it is with it's the handlebar look, kind of like his cockpit mode. And then we have the key itself. We'll look at this with the Morpher. You can plug it onto his arm like the others. It stays pretty good, so that's pretty cool. And then the other weapon is a missile launcher that you clip on, and it fires. And it has some good throw to it, but we're just gonna put this off to the side. Not really needed for the bike mode. Now the bike mode is where we get into some wonkiness. Alright, so to transform him into bike mode, it's incredibly simple, which is you take this piece and flip it up. I do have to mention it pegs in here. This whole back piece was separate in the package. You fold these back, just the arms back. You can kind of see how the hands sort of line up into this thing. Which, by the way, this thing is pinned into his hand, so you can't remove that from that side. Then you're gonna fold the legs up like this. They do peg together here, which is nice. And then you can fold this around, and it kind of just rests there. And here's the bike mode. Well, for one, it rolls. For two, it does have a kickstand here, which the kickstand's kind of weird being back on the back tire like this. But if you line it up right. And I mean, do say line it up right. He does stand. He does have a standing motorcycle, which is pretty cool. His missile launcher can be attached here if you just plug it onto the arm or something. But wherever you put it, it's going to look really big and dorky. So, you know, if you like want to plug it here as kind of like an exhaust thing, you got that option. It throws the balance off. So we're just going to take it off here for now. But, you know, overall, it's not a bad motorcycle mode. Like, looks-wise, it's fine. It really is. I think that, you know, the main gimmick of this figure is that it turns into the bike. But because of that, I think the figure does kind of suffer for it. Yeah, it's a little weird. Now, here's the biggest issue with the bike. So, obviously, the reason why he turns into the bike mode is so he can work with the Red Ranger, right? It doesn't show it on the packaging, mind you, that the Red Ranger can ride the bike. But one would assume, if you have the Red Ranger, and you have Cruise in his bike mode, you should be able to have the Red Ranger ride it. However, what we have is the bike being incredibly too small. Getting the Red Ranger on here is possible in the traditional sense of he can go on, but it's so incredibly small that it not only looks off. He doesn't have any neck pivots, so he can't even pivot up. It looks like a small crotch rocket motorcycle, not like a full-size one that actually he has in the series. And due to the way the hips are, and due to the way the arms are, I guess I could try a little harder, but it's like the seat area is supposed to be back here, but the arms don't seem long enough, almost. Is that the issue here? Or is it the legs are too big? I guess, okay, that's a little bit better of a position. But the point still stands. Let's get his leg down here because he needs to hold it up. The bike mode is undersized. It's incredibly undersized. And I wonder if the design team came up with this issue of, well, do we make the bike too small or cruise too big? And I think they probably chose bike too small. So personally speaking, I'm not going to leave him displayed like this. It would have been nice to have an option. I would totally love it if they threw a regular cruise that didn't have a transformation into the basic line, maybe next year, and then threw out a bike set so you could have the bike. Because this just doesn't look good. I imagine a kid playing it is just going to get frustrated they can't get the Red Ranger to stay on the bike. There's all kinds of stuff there. We can go into what ifs with play value, but overall, I'm going to kind of dock that against the figure. I think that the bike mode itself, it's a massive hindrance to the figure to begin with, and B, doesn't even fit the Red Ranger. So I kind of wonder what was the point. I get the gimmick, but I do wonder what the point is. So that does it for Cruz. He is okay. And what I mean by okay is that his robot mode here, Beastbot mode, it looks really good. Like, stylistically wise, it looks good. It fits with the Beast Morphers basic figure scale wise. But overall, the transformation I think is the giant hindrance, and I don't think it was worth the trade-off. Alright, here we have Smash, which is the Blue Ranger's Beastbot. Like with Cruz, I'm going to just bring the Blue Ranger right in, so you can see he is the right size. Now, a lot of people forget that either Smash or Gorosaki Banana from Go Busters, whichever, is super duper tall. He's not. He's kind of like the Thing from the Fantastic Four. He's not tall, he's big, he's just thick, but he's not that much taller than everybody. So this scaling wise works really well. So that's really cool. I did a lot of comparisons on that. That is absolutely the scale. It does come with a Morph-X key. This one having his face on it. Really nice. I like the yellow paint on it. This key actually slides around a little easier than the others. And we'll look at this when we do the Morpher review. It does peg onto his arm via this little tank thing here. You can just kind of clip it there. So that's cool. I do like how even though the Beastbots have weird arm designs, they still manage to get them to get the... it's actually hard to get off now. It's so good that it won't come off. Okay, I probably damaged the plastic a little bit. All right, so let's talk about Smash as a figure. So first up, details-wise, pretty phenomenal. Not gonna lie, the painted tampograph detail with all the little like lines and dots on his face is pretty amazing. That's really a lot of little details. Other than that, these silver paint here, gray plastic here, that's like, it's a $15 basic figure. It's not going to have like silver paint all over because that would be really expensive. So there is that, but it's still cool. I still like it. He does have these fire fists because of his gimmick, which we'll look at in a second. These hoses come off the arms, so if you bend the arm too much, it won't break the hose. It just kind of pop off, which is nice. But overall, that's pretty much it. Now, articulation-wise, he doesn't have as much as I thought he would, but being the size he is and what he does in the show, it's not like he's missing anything. For example, his legs can move forward, not so much back. They don't move outward, but neither does, Blazentronic, so that's just a general thing. But, he kind of just stomps around in the series anyways. The knees do bend, and they are on a swivel, which is cool. Yes, he already has more articulation than Cruz. And then we have shoulders that do go 360. There's no real other outward shoulder movement, but there is an elbow, and it is a rotating elbow. So you do have that. And you can turn the hands, since the hands are missiles, so that's pretty nice. The cool part is the head. The head not only turns left and right, but the steering wheel head spins all the way around. So for those of us that watch Go Busters, this happened a lot where Gorosaki would just lose it and just start spinning his head. And that's really cool, especially since it's the steering wheel from the Megazord. So you kind of get that full spinning head motion, which is really awesome. It gives him a lot of expressive kind of poses, which is really nice. The other thing is that, he has got a couple weapon gimmicks. First up, the pretty obvious one is the missiles. These are his hands. They are incredibly powerful. They're pressure launched, which usually pressure launch is kind of weak. This thing just shot off. That was a good, I don't know, 3 feet, and the only thing that stopped it was my Marvel Legends shelf. These are intense. Like if let me just fire this way and see where it lands. I will have to recover that later. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then you have the other option of popping the shield off, or popping his back plate off and actually using that as a shield. So that's neat. I never expected that. That was a bit of a surprise. I thought they just took it off in the package so he'd fit, but no, it's actually a gimmick. So overall, I think Smash is a lot better than Cruz. I think it's a more solid figure. I do wish he had a little bit more articulation, but overall, I don't really have too much of an issue with him at the $15 price point, just because of his size. He's big, he's chunky, he's hefty. Like, he is solid, like, he's not hollow at all. So that's really nice, and yeah, overall, I think he's pretty cool. Now I gotta go find his hand. So overall, Beastbot, Cruz, and Smash are pretty okay. I think Cruz suffers the most because of his bike mode, just being small, and then the transformation kind of wrecks the robot mode. And then Smash is pretty neat. He's a big chunky figure, but I think that he could have used some, like, maybe a little bit extra movement in the arms, and maybe some regular fists. I know it's like a collector's thing versus a kid thing, and kid's probably not going to care about, whether he has like normal fists or fire fists, but he could have come with 2 extra missiles, essentially. That would have been kind of neat. But overall, I think Smash's gimmick doesn't wreck his figure, while I think Cruz's gimmick does. But overall, I think, if you're going out for these, if you have basic figures, and you're wanting to, like, fill out with Beastbots, who I hope get to do more on the show, then, definitely one of those things where it's like, okay, you have to decide, are you going to complete the look and have Beastbots with the Rangers? Then you're probably just going to have to bite the bullet on Cruz. I think Smash is totally worth 15 bucks. I really do like him. But Cruz, I think, maybe wait for a Target coupon or a buy one, get one sale, or, Walmart something. Somebody gives you a gift card and you're like, you know what, I'll get Cruz with that gift card. Something like that. Definitely at 15 bucks, I don't feel like Cruz is worth it. But I also know he can't be the $10 figure just because of, engineering and plastic costs and such. So at that point, I'd say Smash, totally worth it. Cruz, maybe not. Again, hoping for a Cruz in maybe next year we could get like a basic Cruz in the line, just to get one that's more stylistically fitting, that doesn't have like a giant tire on his back. The best thing I can say about Cruz, he doesn't fall over despite all the weirdness with the transformation. Like, see, he's solid. I like bumped into him and he didn't fall over. That's impressive. not gonna like anything else that he can stand. That's important. That's very important. Like Red Ranger can't even stand that well. So overall, that does it for this review. I picked these 2 up at my local Target. So keep an eye out in stores. Be sure to let me know in the comments below what you think of these 2 figures. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Soundout12. I did a Twitter poll to decide whether I was reviewing Cruz and Smash first or the Morpher first. The Morpher will be the next video, where I demonstrate all the Morph-X keys up to this point, as well as the Morpher. And yeah, then we'll see where we go from there while we wait for Wave 2 to drop with Roxy and Jax. So anyways, be sure to check out Hero Club for all of your Power Rangers news at hero-club.com. Until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.